I always knew deep down in my soul that the exposure to chemicals, toxins, that wasn't natural in a wide sense. Like I don't feel like we were designed for that type of exposure. Um, and I always dabbled in it for my own personal use, but I never had the confidence to really expand it into my professional career. And I never found, up until recently, I never found I could stand behind the over-the-counter products. Like I didn't believe they were high quality, didn't trust the sources. And so I would hardly recommend a multivitamin that we carried because I wouldn't take it myself. I didn't think it worked. So it wasn't until recently that I found the concept of functional medicine. And I honestly can't remember where it was, but I know I was a part of a functional medicine pharmacist group on Facebook that transformed everything. And what it takes is everything I believed and knew internally and gave me the evidence to back it up. So knowing that what we put in and on our body and that what we're exposed to can affect us on a level that is so microscopic, and then that all systems are interconnected. So just because you have allergies doesn't mean there's something wrong with just your nasal passages and sinuses. There can be widespread gut issues. You could have some sort of, bacterial mold overgrowth. So connecting all of those things, it's so fun because it's a problem solver.
Sure.
So you're taking what's on the surface level and listening to the other things they're telling you and say, all right, I know that those don't sound connected to you, but they're all connected to me. And here's what we're going to do and make a plan.
So I can add a little bit of your things to your list to do now. I'm reading this book by Bill Bryson. It's called The Body. And Bill Bryson's written a couple of some of the best books ever written, but he goes into this really deep detail. And the first couple of chapters are about like the microbiome and all of the things that live inside of you, and really kind of putting a picture of how many bacteria and things live and work in your body that you don't think about. That, when you take an antibiotic, you kill bad stuff and good stuff. And he was kind of going over some of the information that some of the research now is leading to believe that you taking antibiotics over courses, and say like your average adult's taken 20 to 50 rounds of antibiotics by the time they're an adult. You've killed off good bacteria, and the scary part is some of those never recover. And he's talking about some of the research now is indicating that, say, my daughter inherited some of the bad bacteria that I have because I've killed off all of the good ones over the last 37 years. It's really crazy, like super, super cool writing, but like just reading that chapter, you're like, oh, I wish I'd taken less antibiotics when I was younger.
Less liberal about it.
Yeah, and we grew up, we're about the same age, in the 90s, where you got a sniffle and you got an antibiotic, especially if your mom called the doctor after hours. My mom, hello.
Right.
I was on so many antibiotics. Then you throw in if we're talking about the microbiome, there's just so many other things, stress. So I'm really focused on stress. Everyone's in this COVID world. Every single person I talk to has some sort of level of stress or anxiety, whether it's work-related, home-related. That relays to your gut and your ability to even absorb nutrients. So now not only you're stressed, you're malnourished because you can't absorb anything. And so you can't feed your body what it needs on a chemical level to deal with the stress.